In this video, I want to go over a piece of software named Fotowall. And if you found this video on YouTube, I will provide a link below the video that has a description of the program and how you can install it on your system. Now let's take a look first at what the program is, and then I'll show you how to use the program. Fotowall is an open source creative tool that lets you create a collage of pictures, and it's a creativity tool that lets you create wallpapers, postcards, and covers, and even allows you to do more than that. Here's a little bit more description of the program, and there's what it looks like when you first initially load it up. Now, since I'm using Ubuntu Mate 24.04.1, the long-term support, I downloaded the most current app image. And if you look at the bottom left-hand side of my browser, you can see it's where the actual link is. I'm not going to click on it and re-download it. It says it's for Ubuntu 24.04, and that works for my system here. Now, if you're using a Windows system, even though it says Windows 32, it will work on a Windows 64. If you look in the bottom left corner, it also shows that it downloads a zip file. When you unzip the file, it will create a folder, and it will have an executable file in there that you can actually run the program on your Windows system. If you click the GitHub releases, and that's what I have here, it will show you the most current release of Fotowall, which it shows you in 2017, but actually, if you go back to the GitHub website, which I have open here, and I have links on my website, you can install it from these directions here, follow these directions, and you can install it for the app image for Ubuntu 20.04, the long-term support, the previous long-term support before the new long-term support of 24.04, or you can have Ubuntu 22.04, which is here. You can copy and paste this information here, or you can install it by using here if you're using Ubuntu 24.04, and that's what I'm using. But what I did on my website, instead of copying and paste these instructions, you can follow these instructions, or you can simply copy this, paste it into your browser, and download this app image. And once you get the app image downloaded to your system, you can follow these instructions. Now, what I did is I took out, after I downloaded it, I took out the Ubuntu 24.04, and that way I kept it consistent with this file name. So once I put it into my menu, anytime I download it, if there's a future version, I'll use the same file name. So that way I won't have to re-edit my file menu so that I have to load it for a new name. The name stays consistent. But once you download the file, you're going to right click on it, choose properties. When the properties dialog box appears, click on your permissions tab, click the allow executing files as program, hit close, and then you're going to put it in your main menu, or you can put it in your main menu by going to your main menu option on your system. And then within your main menu option, choose what folder you want to put it in. In my case, I chose graphics. Then I choose the new item button. Excuse me. Then I put this information in. Once I put the information in, you're going to change the path of where you put your app image. I like to keep my app images organized in a folder called app images. So if I open my file manager, I open my app images folder. As you can see here, I have a app image called Fotowall, the latest, and that's the name you saw on my website. So if I right click on it, choose properties, go to permission, as you can see I already checked to allow executing the file as a program. So when I click it in my menu, or if I double click it here, it will open. Now on the releases website, if you scroll down, you're going to see that there's no app images here. These are binary files. Now binary files, I downloaded the top one, or one of these, into my the top one, into a download samples. Now binary files work very similar to app images. You right click on them, choose properties, go to your permissions, and just like an app image, you're going to choose allow executing of a file as a program. Now let me double click the app image. Now it's going to take a while to load. Notice it, I double click and there it loaded. If I want to create a collage, I click create button. Now let me go in here, double click the binary. Now when I click the binary, boom, it opened almost instantly. So the binaries will load faster than your app images, but once you get them loaded into memory, you're not going to notice much difference in the speed, only the initial boot up. So what I'm going to do, and since they're both identical the same, is I'm going to continue to work with my app image. So I'm going to close this one out, and actually I'm going to close this one out as well. And I'm going to close my app images folder, since I already showed you how I kept them organized, and I'm going to close my samples which contain the binary. So if you want to put it in your menu, just simply, like I said, whatever file name that you named the file, if you didn't rename it, then use the file name that you downloaded. Whatever folder you put it in, you're going to copy your folder to your path of your app image here, and you're going to replace it with mine. Then you can put the same thing as app or application. You can name it Fotowall, put your command, then you can put this little comment. You don't have to put a comment. And then if you want to put an icon, you can click the icon button and locate the icon in your system. If you don't have an icon, you can right click that one to save it into a folder in your system, and that way you will have the icon in your menu. When you're finished, if it's not in alphabetical order, scroll down and choose the Fotowall and move up to where you have it in alphabetical order. Click the close button, and then you should see it within your menu. As you can see, mine's going to be Applications, Graphics, and Fotowall. So let me minimize my browser. Let me go to Applications, Graphics, and I'm going to go down to Fotowall. So initially it will take a little while to load since it is an app images. They do take a little bit more time to load when you initially crank them up or start them up. Now I'm going to choose the Create button. Now once you click the Create button, it's basically a blank canvas. You do have some options over on the right hand side, and if you load it for the first time, I recommend you to click the Help menu. And when you click the Help menu, it's kind of like a welcome menu. It says playing with a Fotowall is easy. It gives you some quick tips to help you understand how to get around within the Fotowall. Now the best thing to do over here on the left hand side is to start on the far left. What you got here, if you hover over them, it will create a tooltip. This is so that you can start adding pictures. You add one picture at a time. Here it allows you to add text to your collage. Here it allows you to add a word cloud. It's almost like word art where you have artwork containing words that makes the art on your folder. And here you can actually add a canvas, and I do have a canvas already created, but once you start creating a canvas, you can put an existing canvas that you have saved on your existing canvas. And here allows you to search for pictures across the internet. So if you need a picture, you can search for it without opening your browser, downloading it to a folder. You can use the search feature within this within this program. Let me click the Add Photo button. Now there's my images that are where I created already a canvas. I can load that one, or I can load these here. So I'm not going to load the first one. I'm going to start with the first one here. As you can see, I got them from iStock Photos, which is Getty Images, or this one right here is not my canvas. This is the one from Getty Images. So if I hit open, as you can see here, I have a little boy. Let's say I put him over here. And I'm not going to copy the exact look that I have on my website. I'm going to click open. I'll put the dog over here, and it may look very similar. I'll click, I'm not going to probably choose all of them. I'll put the tree down here in the corner, and you can resize them. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. Number 4, I'll put this one, I'll put here. I don't even think I used that one on my website. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll pick this one down here. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'll put this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I got 3 from the bottom. This is my next one. I'll go with this one. I'll go here. Then 3 from the bottom. I'll go here. And then the bottom, I'll go here. Now if you want to take one of these pictures here and make it your background, there's multiple ways that you can do this. Of course, you can go over here and choose to set it in your background within your picture, or you can actually hover over it. You can go to the gear icon, or the tool icon, and go to where it says general. You can say to background, and it will set it to your background image. That's one way of doing it. Another way you can double click it is by double clicking on the image, and that will set it as your background. And so as you can see here, that kind of zoomed in on the ornament where I clicked that, so that way I can move around to where you see the ornaments. So I could put this one here. Now you can drag these on the corner and move them around. You can make them larger. So this is one thing I like, and it keeps it crystal clear. So it might look like it's blurry for a while, and then after it resizes, it will clear up. Now if you don't like the name here, you can rename it. You can give it your name here, or you can go to the gear icon, and at the bottom where it says looks, you take the X, and that removes the frame along with the name across the bottom. So if you don't want to give your images a name, you can go down into the gear icon under the general tab, click the X button, and it will remove the name from it. You can give it different looks. You can give it this, which will give it a frame that has a dark top and a light bottom. Here it gives it kind of the dark in the middle across the frame. Here it gives it the kind of a heart shape image. Here's basically a frame without the text at the bottom. These are just different frames, a light and a dark frame around the edges, a black frame, and then a gray frame. I like it with no frame or the smallest frame possible. Now you can send it to the background, you can save this image, or you can remove it from this particular collage. If you've got a lot of individual pictures and they're overlapping, you can move to the front. Like if I have this one here, I can say go to the back, and this one's at the front. Now if I had one here, as you can see, this one's at the front, I can say let me make another layer where I got 1, 2, 3, 4. If I wanted to make this one go up a layer, so I can say raise, and it moved it up one layer. I can say raise, and it moved it up another layer. And if I hit raise, it goes to the front. If I go back, I don't have to go raise, raise, raise 3 times. I can just go immediately to the front, and it puts this one automatically at the front. So that's what the stacking is. You can have multiple pictures, and you can move up one, or you can even lower one. Like I can go down, and I can go down, or I can go back to the front. If I want to go immediately to the back, I hit to the back, and it puts it at the back of the stack. So that way you can stack up pictures on the collage. Now these, I haven't removed the frames yet, so let me take them out here so I can remove the frames of each one of them. I'm going to remove that frame. Let me make it selective. Oh, I got the gear for the first one, I'm sorry. I'm going to go here, close it out. I'm going to go here, close it out. I'm going to go here, close it out. I'm going to go down here, do the same thing for each of those. Can't see that one, it's behind, but go to the gear, hit the X, and this way it makes it look more like you're taking photographs, creating a collage in real life, instead of having the frame around it and the name. So as you can see here, I made it just the photographs. Like I said, I can click on these and make them larger. So if you wanted to see a picture like the grandparent, I can take that and I can kind of click on the corner and I can kind of turn it around. This one down here at the bottom, I can move this one over a little bit. I can make it a little bit larger, put it like this. If I want to put that one in the background a little, take grandma, maybe have grandma going overlapping. Here you might have your nephew. You want to come over, maybe you want him in the front, so you can click here and you say raise up one, close this out. I want to make this one a little larger. I'm going to click on the corner. Kind of get the idea. You see how it works now. You can make your pets a little larger, kind of turn them around, take your relatives and make them a little bit larger. Now these are not my relatives, of course. I told you where I got the images from. And so as you can see here, you can be as creative as you want. You can add or take away as many pictures as you want. And there's other things that you can do with the gear icon. When you click onto it, I've already showed you this, I showed you these, and there's actually some more. You can actually set a reflection by choosing here, and it makes a quick kind of a reflection. You can't see it that great here on this one, but you can create a reflection of the images down below, which I have an image here. Here you can say invert, which will flip this image upside down. I don't know why you'd want to put a person upside down, but you can flip an image upside down, or you can flip them side to side. So if you want like a mirror image of that, you can flip it and make it look like your trees on the right hand side and your image of your humans are on the left hand side. So I'm going to flip it back, or you can even actually crop it so that you bring up the cropping tool so that you can crop out just the individuals and leave the tree off or whatever, but I'm going to cancel that. So it does have a cropping tool, and the default is no effects. You can say invert the colors by double clicking it, and the colors is inverted, like having a negative on your old-timey cameras that used to have film inside. I'm going to go back to no effects. You can say auto blend, and then here you can say choose a number. A weak is 0 and 100 is strong, so it comes up with a default of 50. So I hit OK, and there's an auto blend. So I'm going to go back to no effects. You have a black and white image. I'm going to go back to no effects, and I think I even skipped some, but I'm not going to go through all of them. If sepia, like if you wanted something like if you wanted to choose a Western type collage, the sepia kind of gives it that old-timey or Western look. So there's effects that you have here. You can say apply it to all the images. So that way if you got one particular type of effect, you want it to affect all the images, you can do it all at one time. So you have two tabs, the general tab and the picture tab, that allows you to work with the individual images. And in the case of the effects, you can apply it to all of them. Now, Over here on this side, here's what I like as well. Let me choose this one here. This makes it transparent. So if I go down, you can see here, it's completely transparent. You can go all the way up and make it completely to where it's you can't see through it. I forget the name off the top of my head. And here's what I like. This one's the one I was really wanting to focus on. This one's almost transparent where you can't see it. It's a grid of different quadrants. Your quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. You can move this around and notice what's the images as I'm moving it around. Look at what's happening to the image. So you can rotate these images to where it spins them around, or you can go back into the center. So this allows you to drag it around to not only rotate it, but you can rotate it dimensionally, and you can do each of your images that way. But remember, when you rotate it, like if you go up, it does make it appear thinner. So if you're trying to print out these images, it may not look good when you print it out, but for someone looking at the image across the internet, they'll be able probably to understand it much better than if you were to print this out. Now when you're finished, you can come over here. As you can see here, there's a button. If you click on it, this is an export wizard, so that you can click onto it and save this. You can give it a name. As you can see here, this is the name that I give mine earlier. Is Christmas Tuesday, December 31st, which is today's date, 2024, the last day of the year. So I've already got that one saved, and it's not this one here. So I can just hit, I'll put sample on this one. So I come here, I say sample, and then I'll leave Tuesday, December the 31st, and that one I hit save. So that way I have two of them. Now, it's not automatically saved there. Here's the output file, and if I want to put it in a different location, I can choose, and it will bring up that same dialog box. I can change the width and the height, because this allows me to change the size and orientation. If I want to make sure it's landscape, which is this way, and not portrait, I can choose the landscape button, but I'm going to keep it as is. And the scale mode, it's zoomed in. I can say scale to keep the proportions the same as you see here. And then I can say as you see it includes the tools, the lines, and everything that you see here. I don't want the lines that you see on here, so I'm just going to keep it scaled and keep the proportions, and I'll click the finish button. You can kind of play around with that. And that way it should be in your samples folder, and it tells you the target image, and it tells you how large it is, and it lets you know that it's completed. Another way you can do when you go to export, you can create a wallpaper. And this allows you to go zoom scale, basically what you saw earlier, and it allows you to create a wallpaper so that you can put it as the wallpaper on your desktop. You can create a poster, and you can go to here to get more instructions about how to create a poster, because some posters are so big you have to print out the individual sections to create the poster. And here's the actual print feature. You can go set the width, the height, the DPIs. So if you want to increase your dots per inch, you can make sure that it's print in landscape, and you can keep the Kansas proportions. You can change it from inches to pixels to centimeters. Here you can export it out as a PDF file. So I could save this one right here. So if I wanted to create a PDF file here, I could go and give it the same name as I give the last one and call it sample. And that way, instead of saving it as an image file, it's going to save it as a PDF file. So if you want to send this PDF file by email as an attachment, most people do have a PDF viewer on your system. And then your export wizard, you're not quite finished yet. You can choose the custom size, scale, original position, top left. You can put center if you wanted to. And then you can say 300 dots per inch, or you can choose the resolution. And you either got a preview button if you wanted to hit the preview, and then you can hit finish, and then that will save the PDF file to your system, so you can send it as an attachment. And then here's your scalable vectors, and I'm not going to give a name for that one. And also you can go, since I didn't give a name, it's blank here. So you can see there's multiple targets that you can create to export when you're finished with your product. Now when you hit the save button here, notice it's going to give the extension Fotowall. So that way, if you're creating a very large collage or wallpaper or whatever it is that you're creating, if you want to come back to it and work on it later, this is what the save button is for, so that when you give it a name, it gives it that extension Fotowall. So when you go back and hit open and open it up, then you have this what you was working on, so you can work on it later, so you don't have to finish it in one go. So if you have these buttons here, this button allows you to put text wherever you want. You can type whatever text by double clicking it, put the text as your background. So I'm going to remove that one. I'm going to go back and put the one with the ball ornament which I think I closed it out a while ago when it popped up. So I can go here and save that one as my background. Put this one up here instead of the one that I had. No, here it is. So I can go here and move this one back around. So it was on there. I saw it when I moved it around. So here's the way my collage is, and I'm not going to save this. But now if I wanted to open up the previous one, let me cancel this out. Let's say that I want to open up the one that I was working on. I can actually put the one I was working on, which is here, and stretch it out so you can have multiple canvases. And as you can see, they're the same picture. So you might want to say, if you have several different families at Christmas time, then you want to create one big collage of the different families members. You can open up the different collages, and you can see here it's got the same images here, but that's just an example. So I'm going to delete this one out. You can put it around, move it around, just as you could one of the normal images that you already have in the collage. So I'm going to go ahead and take out these texts right here. That was with kind of the word art, adding a word cloud. So if you click a word cloud and you've already got one created, you can select this, and if not, you can create a word cloud. And I accidentally closed it out, but I've got it saved. So let me go back to my Fotowall. Let me go back and open it up. I clicked the close button in the corner when I did, so let me click create, and I can go and hit the here. I can choose to open this one, hit open, double click it, make it large. Now once I have it up, I've got the arrange, the screen, the backgrounds, and everything. So the save button was the last thing that I showed you how to do, and when you save it, it saves it as a Fotowall file so that you can go back to it and add to it later. So this is how you create a collage wallpaper on a Linux system. You can also install it on a Windows and Mac system by going to the actual website. At the bottom of my website here, I do have some links, and these links are the ones that I have open in tabs. So if you want to go to the home page, click here, and the home page gives you more information about the program. You can click on the downloads, and the downloads link is here. As you can see, you can download the zip file for your Windows system. If you got a Mac system, you can download the file for your Mac. You can install it multiple ways for different Linux systems. Here are the older systems, or older versions, and on the GitHub website, this is the instructions for installing it on your system. Here's the binaries, or you can download the source code, or you can download the tarball, which is compressed, where you can install it from that way. Or if you want to install an older version on your system, so if you've got a terminal, you can open up the terminal, go sudo apt update, and then sudo apt install Fotowall. And if you install Fotowall, the most current one in their Ubuntu archives is the version 0.98, and since the one on their website is 0.1, I decided to install the newer version, which is an app image. And if you go to the releases website, it will tell you what's new in the version 1 compared to the 0.98. So if you click here, this tells you all the things that are different from the previous version. So if you go back to the releases here, you can compare one with the older versions, which should be down below or on this website somewhere. So if you're looking for a great collage programs to create a collage on your system, I know that you can do this online, but when you're doing a collage online, you don't know what the website is doing with the images that you're using online. They could be using them for commercial purposes, so those may not be trusted. If you do trust them, they're probably just as good as what you're installing on your system. But this right here, you don't rely on internet. So if you have a laptop or something and you're somewhere without internet range, and if you want to create a collage from images that you have on your thumb drive or on your computer, then this may be the best route to go to create a collage or wallpaper. So hopefully, if you have some great images that you've taken over the holidays, that you can create a collage and send it to your family members or friends, or if you decide you want to put it on your social media such as Facebook, Instagram, X, which is Twitter, or whatever, you have the ability to do so. Hopefully this video has been helpful to someone, and have a great day.